Hello everyone, we are Group 7. Today we will introduce the country France to you. And I'm Eric.
I'm Alvin. I'm Andy. I'm Chanky.
In the beginning, we will introduce where France is located and the distribution of France. France is in Western Europe. The area of France is about 600,000 square kilometers. It has 13 states in mainland France and 5 offshore islands. And the population of France is about 67.4 million. And the capital of France is Paris, which is also the biggest economic center of France. And Marseille is the second biggest city of France, and it has the biggest harbor. And the third one is Lyon, is also the biggest economic center of France. And it's located in South France, near the mountain Alps. And the city located in South France named Porto is famous for its grape wine. And the famous resort is in the city named Nice. And now I will introduce the official language and the regional dialects of France to you. The only official language is French, and France has some dialects too. The biggest dialect in France is Alsatian, and next is Catalan, and Basque, Breton, Corsican, and Gallo. And there are 92% of France's population speaks French, and 7.2% speaks Alsatian, 0.56 Romance language, and the last 0.2 speaks Indo-European language. And the hello in French is bonjour, and the thank you is merci, and I love you is je t'aime. And now, Andy will introduce the religion to you.
There are two main features of French religion. France is a religion polarized country. Catholicism is the main religion of France, and second is no religion. In France, Islam only accounts about 5%, and France is also a country which emphasizes separation of church and state.
And now I will introduce how friends greet with others. In France, friends greet with two air kisses to show their friendly. And I will demonstrate it with Andy to you. And next slide, Andy will introduce social norms to you.
In some countries, bringing gifts, taking some food or drink may look like a symbol of friendly, but in France, they might feel being offended if you bring wine to their party. It will make them think that if their party's items are not good enough for you, so that you bring your own thing to their party. And the second social norms we should notice is that when you meet a person for first time, greet them with handshake. Air kiss is usually used when you meet a person who you have already known about them.
And I'm going to introduce you one of the French traditional clothing, Alsace traditional clothing. Alsace is a region in eastern France,
And this style of clothing is inspired by German fashions and French authentics. And in this picture, let's look at this man. You can see that he is wearing a red waistcoat and a white shirt with black pants. And you can see there are some gold buttons on his waistcoat. If a man has more gold buttons on his waistcoat, that means that he has more wealth. And for females, the design will be different due to the different religion. For instance, if she is a Catholicist, her skirt will be long and red. And if she is a Protestant, she wears a shorter skirt, and the color of the skirt will change based on the liturgical calendar. And there has 4 colors in total: blue, green, red, and purple. And you can know if a girl is married or not by observing whether she wears a bow with fancy ribbons. If she wears a bow with fancy ribbons, that means that she is not married yet. And this kind of clothing is common wear style in past time, but now it can only be seen in certain festival or weddings. The next one is common stereotypes. The first is lazy. Many people think that French people are lazy, but in fact they are very hardworking and diligent. In France, people work for about 40 hours a week, and the average of working hour in Europe is 41 hours. So French people are not as lazy as we think. And the standard of working hours in France is about 35 hours a week. And the next one is rude. If you have the experience of talking with French people, you may be offended by the way they talk. But in fact, they are not that rude. They talk directly and they just say what they want to say. This is because that they are busy and they don't have time to talk about things that are not important, especially in Paris. Because Paris is a very busy city. And you may also offended by the French joke, because if a French like you, he will nicely tease at you, and they will expect the same friendly jokes in return. So next time, if a French tells you a joke, don't feel mad and try to give them a nice response. And the last one is Onion Johnny. In past time, people would ride their bicycles, and there are many onions on their bicycles, and they will sell this pink onion door to door, and local people gave them a nickname called Onion Johnny, and this became the very famous stereotype of France. If you speak of France, many people will think of Onion Johnny.
And that is conclusion. Based on what we said above, you can find that different countries have different cultures. Just like people said, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. You should follow the local traditional norms. If you are not aware of the local taboos, even though you want to be polite, you may still let them feel offended and disrespectful. And this is all of our presentation. Thanks for listening.